Hello, dear viewer. How's it going? I feel like we don't get a chance to just talk. How is everything? That's great, or that sucks. Today, I'm going to be ranking every Blue album I could think of. That's about it. Let's get started, shall we? Green Day, Trey. Shouldn't it be Trace? Uno, dos, Trey? I'm confused. The less confusing part is the album here. It is terrible in an incredibly straightforward way. Opening the video with a Yacht here. Arctic Monkeys, whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. I'm not the biggest Arctic Monkeys fan in the world, but this album is pretty great. Some phenomenal hits on here, and even the fluff is pretty good, I'd say. S tier. David Bowie's Space Oddity. This is tough, to be honest. On one hand, Space Oddity is unironically one of the best songs ever written. On the other, and perhaps the 8 times larger hand, every other song here just isn't very good. It's a vast improvement from his debut record, but still not one of his heavy-hitting projects at all. C tier. Audioslave self-titled record. This is good, but this isn't great. The first half of this album is pretty phenomenal shit, but my god does the second half just cataclysmically fall off. B tier. Ween the Mollusk. Is this green? I don't know, but it's certainly brown. That's a deep cut. This shit just slaps, man. I like this a lot. I know Ween is often coupled with pretension, but this shit is just a really good time. Top of the S tier, but no, if you aren't looking, it would be GO tier. Avenged Sevenfold Nightmare. I don't love this band, but I do think this is one of their better albums, and it's most certainly blue. Top of the B tier. Blur Leisure. Blur's first appearance in the video, but not their last. Their worst appearance, I think. I don't remember. I don't think this is very good. A couple solid tracks on here, but a lot of this kind of stinks. Back at the C tier. Nine Inch Nails, Still. A pretty severely underrated album from this band. It's not up there with their best work, but this album it's pretty great. Some excellent songs on here, most notably All That Could Have Been. That shit could make a grown man cry, and in my case has. A tier. Coldplay, Ghost Stories. This isn't great. They're in this video about 14 times, so don't blow your fuse yet, Coldplay fans. There's nothing awful here, but I got nothing from here. D tier. Van Halen, Women and Children First. Same kind of thing going on. I wasn't miserable here, but a lot of this went in one ear and out of my asshole. Romeo Delight. It's a pretty good song, though. I like that one. C. Above Blur. Disturbed, Evolution. I contemplated just yelling into my microphone as loud as I could, but I thought Disturbed fans might accidentally mistake my screaming in agony for one of Disturbed's better songs. The whole thing is awful. This sucks. Back of the ouch tier. Megadeth, Rust in Peace. This is one of the greatest thrash albums ever, up there with Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning. It's just exemplary musicianship. That sounded smart, huh? Really great instrumentation on here if you can ignore Dave Mustaine singing. This is excellent. S tier. Behind the Mollusk. Korn, See You on the Other Side. Incredibly hit or miss project. It's not completely awful, but when it's bad, it's really fucking bad. Top of the D tier. Eminem, Encore. Oh man, it doesn't get too much worse than this. It's a shame. Buried Beneath the Garbage lies 2 pretty great songs, but the other fucking 18 are just god-awful. Really weak shit. Youch tier. Above Disturbed. Faith No More, Angel Dust. Oh fuck yeah. This is phenomenal shit. Top to bottom. This is excellent stuff. A couple classics on here, but really consistent the whole way through. Top of the A tier. Fishman's I Still Can't Say This Shit. Absolutely incredible album. Up there with this band's best work. Really powerful. Really beautiful. Ethereal in a way. This is great. GO tier. Gojira, The Way of All Flesh. This is excellent. Some all-time great tracks on here. The Art of Dying being perhaps my personal favorite Gojira song ever. S tier. Behind Rust in Peace. Eminem, The Slim Shady LP. It's not his strongest project, but after Encore, this shit sounds like Beethoven. Still not super consistent, but the highs here are great. Top of the B tier. The Velvet Underground, Squeeze. I don't want to talk about it. Back of the ouch tier. Kanye West, Jesus is King. It hurts to talk about, to be honest. The start of Kanye's tragic downfall, musically at least. I'm not sure the exact date when he lost his mind. A lot of this stinks, to be honest. 1 or 2 exceptions, but not worth the 27 minutes. Back of the D tier. Hum. Inlet. This was excellent, man. I like the Zebra album a lot. I don't know if this is better, but they're definitely comparable. Really strong tracks on here, and nothing I'd call bad on this record at all. S tier. Above the Arctic Monkeys. Iron Maiden, In Prayer for the Dying. Oh, this kind of sucks. Not much here, to be honest. I wasn't miserable, per se, but I wasn't exactly happy. Just kind of a blank stare kind of thing going on. D tier. Above Kanye. Opeth, Sorceress. This isn't all that great either. Better than the last one, but not by all that much. Same kind of thing. It's not awful, but it's just kind of uninteresting, especially coming from a band as unique as Opeth. C tier. Behind Bowie. Smashing Pumpkins, Oceania. I don't know how to say that. Oh, Billy. What the fuck happened? It's not his worst album. That's also in this video. But man, this is just some of the most forgettable shit ever made. This isn't even really the Smashing Pumpkin. It's kind of just Billy Corgan and whatever curmudgeons he could order around after the original lineup left. It's not a great album. Top of the D tier. Pearl Jam, Gigaton, On to Pearl Jam's worst album. I regret everything I said about the last album. This is the most forgettable shit ever. I have nothing else to say. I've already forgotten everything here. Back of the D tier. The Killer's Hot Fuss. This should be much better, but after track 5, you'd be better off hitting yourself in the head with a sledgehammer than finishing this album. That might be an over-exaggeration, but man, does it fall apart. Back of the B tier. Arcade Fire's self-titled. Oh yeah, I'm including EPs, I didn't mention that yet. This feels like a great precursor to Funeral, but not much more than that, I wouldn't say. A band starting to click, but not quite there yet with this project. Back of the B tier. Jay-Z and R. Kelly, Unfinished Business. Do I have to say anything? This might be a bottom 5 album in history, like, of all time. I'm talking prehistoric shit, like caveman banging rocks together. That's probably better than this album. It's even worse than Squeeze. My God, back of the ouch tier. Pink Floyd, Echoes, I Mean Metal. While Echoes may be the greatest Pink Floyd song ever, the rest of this album is also pretty underrated. It's not Dark Side of the Moon, but this is pretty great top to bottom, I'd say. S tier. Behind Gojira. Incubus, Science. It's pretty great. Incubus may have strayed from the nu metal genre after this, but man, this is probably just better than any Korn album ever produced, and it's certainly better than anything Fred Durst shit out of his asshole. Back of the A tier. Jay-Z, The Blueprint. I couldn't let Jay-Z go out on Unfinished Business, even if he's a terrible person. This is a great album. I'm not as high on it as other people are, but the more I listen to this, the more I enjoy it, I'd say. S tier. Behind Metal. The Police, Regatta de Blanc. Message in a Bottle and Friends, I Fear. A lot of this is pretty average, relatively forgettable stuff, but the hits here, they stand the test of time. B tier. Behind the Killers. Jeff Buckley, Grace. I feel like I've made my thoughts about Grace pretty clear several times, but I'll do that shit again. It's one of the best albums ever. Top of the Go tier. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 2. Man, what in the actual fuck is My World? That's your homework. Go listen to that shit. It's a bottom 10 song ever, if you could even call it a song. Other than that, this is just an inconsistent mess, I'd say. Some solid tracks on here, most notably the opener Civil War, but a lot of this I'm not a big fan of. C tier. Behind Bowie. King Crimson, Beat. This thing's pretty bad. There's nothing here worth revisiting. It's not abhorrently bad, but very, very mediocre. Above Leisure. In the C tier. Iron Maiden, Brave New World. It's pretty solid, I'd say. It's nothing more, nothing less. The first 4 or 5 tracks I thought were excellent, but then it definitely tapers off. B tier. Behind the Slim Shady LP. Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. This is wildly inconsistent. The first half, I guess, though that's probably generous, is pretty solid. The other half gets really, really bad at points, outlandishly so, to be honest. D tier. Above Korn. Weezer's Teal album. This is so bad it's almost hard to describe to you. It's only covers, but every single song they cover is so far and away worse than the original that this whole album ends up pointless. Really bad stuff. Above Disturbed. In the ouch tier. Smashing Pumpkins' Adam. At some point, Billy Corgan must have been hit in the head so hard that he completely forgot how to write a song. It was definitely far before this album dropped, but this is kind of where his pretentious garbage hit its metaphorical peak. This is 2.5 hours long. It wants to be good so bad that it just comes off completely devoid of anything decent. I hate this album. Truly. Youch tier. Above Disturbed. Nirvana, Nevermind. It's iconic. It's got the hits. It's got the deep cuts. It's cool to like Nirvana. And I want you to think I'm cool. Above Fishman's. In the Go tier. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. This is an album that deserves every bit of praise it gets. The end of Dave Mustaine's career with the band, but he went out on a fucking bang. I shouldn't have to say too much. This album's iconic. It's one of the greatest metal records to ever release. S tier. Behind the Mollusk. Please Don't Hurt Me. Wu-Tang Clan, A Better Tomorrow. Super hollow record. I think they ran out of shit to say about 4 albums ago, to be honest. Every release from these guys just gets worse and worse. Back of the D tier. Modest Mouse, We Were Dead Before This Ship Even Sank. It's not their best, but I don't hate it. I wouldn't say. It's pretty inconsistent, but the songs that are good here are great songs. Above Audioslave. In the B tier. My Bloody Valentine, MBV. This has been growing on me a little bit, actually. I'm not a huge fan of this band, or quite honestly, the shoegaze genre as a whole, but the formula works pretty well here. This is good. I'll give it a thumbs up. Back of the A tier. Nas, God's Son. This might be a little underrated, actually. It's not Illmatic, and it desperately wants to be Illmatic, but in a vacuum, there are some great songs on here. Some stinkers for sure, but the good outweighs the bad by a lot, I'd say. B tier. Behind Slim Shady. Coldplay, Music of the Spheres. This album has what I call Coldplay syndrome. It's a terminal case. I just don't care. Who cares anymore? If you like Coldplay, that's great, but I don't think you're throwing on any new projects from these guys. It's pretty bad. Behind Encore. In the ouch tier. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, Stadium Arcadium. It's pretty average. It's 2 hours long, 28 songs. That's too much. It's especially too much when most of them feel like kind of filler tracks. The hits are good here, but a lot of this is just uninteresting. C tier. Behind David Bowie. Death, spiritual Whoops. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, Anthony Kiedis is a pedophile. He wrote about it in his own autobiography. Now we're good. Death, spiritual healing. It's definitely their weakest project. There's not really a track here I'm in love with, but everything is solid, I'd say. The title track it's pretty good though. It's growing on me. Back of the A tier. Oasis, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. I did not have fun. There's one or two good songs, but a lot of this stinks pretty bad. D tier. Behind Limp Bizkit. Portishead, Dummy. Damn, this is a great album. To be honest, this isn't really my genre of music typically, but I'm gonna place this pretty high solely based on the atmosphere here. This album kind of just puts you right into it. One of the most immersive albums I've heard in a long time. Back of the GOAT tier. Incubus, Morning View. It's blue enough, and I make the decisions, okay? I like this one a lot. I grew up on this album, so I'm almost unbearably skewed in my take, but I think it's a very cohesive, good record. It's not a masterpiece, but I think this is a genuinely good experience top to bottom, even if it doesn't change your life. A tier. Behind Nine Inch Nails. Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. Man, I was ready to down a bottle of vodka and freak the fuck out after those first 4 tracks. Great shit. Track 6 through 12, I wore one of those smiles white people give you in public. But track 5, however, whew, that shit sucks. My god, if I wiped that from my mind, this was a pretty good album. Above My Bloody Valentine in the A tier. Elliott Smith's self-titled record. Man, this shit is just miserable. Not in a bad way, though. Miserable in the sense that I feel like curling up in a ball and crying in the shower. It's too sad to talk about anymore. S tier. Behind the Mollusk. Tool, Fear Inoculum. If this is it for Tool, then to be completely honest, I'm kind of disappointed. It's a fine enough album, but man, does it pale in comparison to the band's peak. It's not bad, but it's not Lateralis. You know what I mean? A tier. Above Pantera. Pearl Jam's self-titled record. This isn't very good. Most Pearl Jam's albums, I kind of shrug my shoulders at after the first 4. Whichever one Yield is, that's where I stop. This is kind of the same case. There's just nothing here I come back to. Back of the C tier. Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. Definitely the best album from the post-Lane era, but I don't hit this album almost ever. Maybe it's my relatively uncomfortable obsession with the singer that died before I was born, but this band just doesn't hit the same without Lane. It's not bad, but it's not up there with Dirt or Facelift, no way. Top of the C tier. Blur, The Great Escape. This album has some great tracks for sure. The last third of this is pretty mediocre though, I'd say. I could have lived without that whole section. Behind Avenged Sevenfold in the B tier. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. The Beatles start to pick up some steam with this album, but this probably isn't worth the listen top to bottom. A couple great tracks on here, my favorite being And I Love Her, though I do prefer Kurt Cobain's agonizing rendition. I took a quick sob break. This goes B tier. Behind Blur. Pink Floyd, The Division Bell. Is this blue? I don't actually know. This isn't that good. It's the best post-Roger Waters album that Pink Floyd released, but it's still not great. Heavily carried by the closing track, High Hopes. Top of the C tier. Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. This is pretty great stuff here. That's all I have to say. S tier. Behind the Blueprint. Portishead, Third. This is pretty excellent. I like it a lot. But man, it's almost indescribable, to be honest. Very immersive record. I enjoyed it. Behind Metal in the S tier. Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark. Iron Maiden's 44th appearance on the list. How about a different fucking color, guys? This is wildly inconsistent. A couple great tracks on here, but way more mediocre ones, I'd say. C tier. Behind Van Halen. Weezer's Blue Album. This is pretty solid, and that's coming from a Weezer hater. My hatred is inexplainable, but know, dear viewer, that it's incredibly warranted. This is one of their better albums for sure. I'll give it my stamp of approval, sure. A tier. Behind Pantera. Stone Temple Pilots, Purple. Why is the album called Purple Blue? What the fuck's up with that, Scott? I guess he's dead and can't respond. I love this album. I love this band before they forgot how to write music. Some classics on here, maybe one bad track. This is a phenomenal record. Above the Blueprint in the S tier. Iron Maiden, The Final Frontier. Seriously, man, what the fuck? Enough Blue albums, you freaks. This one kind of stinks. I didn't like anything here, to be honest with you. Behind Korn in the D tier. Queen, Made in Heaven. A very touching record from Queen. It seems to serve as the concluding piece of Freddie Mercury's life. A gut-wrenching conclusion for one of the most iconic musicians to ever live. A lot of these tracks, they kind of stink. Sorry. Made in Heaven alone is definitely a reason to listen to this, though. That song is a great tribute to a great man. Top of the D tier. Gorillaz, Song Machine, Season 1, Strange Times. This is pretty good, actually. It's not their best shit, no way, but this is pretty consistently good. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Back of the A tier. Queens of the Stone Age, Rated R. This is pretty good. Again, not this band's peak, but top to bottom, this is a pretty great project. There's no absolute classics on here, though, I wouldn't say. A tier. Behind Weezer. Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. Pretty inconsistent, this one. Of course, Everlong the obvious highlight, but a lot of this is pretty generic dad rock kind of hoopla. A lot of it, not all of it, okay? A tier. Behind Death. Muse, Showbiz. Avert your eyes, Matt Bellamy fans. This is super mid. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's boring, and I'm done talking about it. Top of the C tier. Nine Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. This is pretty great. Again, it's not up there with this band's peak, but this album is pretty damn good. Some excellent tracks on here, Head Like a Hole especially, but it's not without flaws. A tier. Behind Tool. Coldplay, X and Y. Pretty average project here. I've forgotten every song already, to be honest. C tier. Behind David Bowie. Rush, Hemispheres. This is great stuff. Only 4 tracks, but all 4 are pretty good, I'd say. The closing track especially, really interesting song. Very unique. A tier. Behind Faith No More. Alice in Chains, Sap. 4 songs, and I'd say 2 bangers. That's all. B tier. Behind the Police. Shine Down, Leave a Whisper. This blows ass. A good track here and there, and by here and there I mean I think the first one and the last one I liked. C tier. Behind Blur. Radiohead, OK Computer. This is probably just the greatest album ever, maybe just the greatest piece of art ever. The hits, of course, are absurdly good, but the way this album flows, the story it tells, the way the album has remained relevant to this very damn day, fuck you, Grok, is absurd. Top of the GOAT tier. Sleep Token, This Place Will Become Your Tomb. Fuck Sleep Token, D tier, behind Kanye West. The Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, and The Infinite Sadness. It's probably objectively wrong, but this is my personal favorite dub album of all time. Am I going to say it's flawless? No. But I think Billy reached his peak songwriting, and at the very least, his peak storytelling ability on this album. Incredibly powerful project. GOAT tier, behind The Baby. Rush, Fly By Night. This isn't nearly as good as that other Rush album I ranked. This has its moments, but it's pretty inconsistent. I probably won't listen to this top to bottom ever again. C tier, behind Bowie. Tyler the Creator, Goblin. Don't let the Tyler fans fool you, dear viewer. This shit sucks. It's really bad. Every song except She is a song I would rather slam my head into a wall than listen to. The lyricism here is just really awful, I'd say. Top of the ouch tier. Bush, The Sea of Memories. Does anybody actually fucking care? I don't think so. It sucks. Moving on. Youch tier. Behind the Teal album. Drake, Nothing Was the Same. Certainly one of the better Drake albums, but that's like saying it's certainly one of the shinier piles of dog shit. It's got some decent tracks, but there's not a Drake album I'd listen to top to bottom anymore, I don't think. Holds all over the place on almost every record. C tier. Behind the Peacock. Third Eye Blind, Blue. It hurts my heart what I have to do here. I was finally able to give these guys a W in my debuts video, but now I have to take it right back. Tracks 1 through 5, I actually give a strong thumbs up. Tracks 6 through 12, I give a very sad thumbs down. Track 13, I give 2 thumbs down. That one fucking reeks. This is pretty weak. Behind the Division Bell in the C tier. Stone Temple Pilots, Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. A lot of this kind of stinks, sadly. Tripping on a Hole in a Paper Heart, while a comically long title, is a really good song. One of my favorites from this band, but this is incredibly inconsistent. B tier. Above Audioslave. Modest Mouse, this is a long drive for someone with nothing to think about. Title's too long, -1 point. A lot of excellent tracks on here, but simultaneously a couple songs that make me want to drill a hole right through my skull. Maybe 4 songs on each side of that spectrum, and the other 8 being just kind of average. A tier. Above Pantera. Nine Inch Nails, Year Zero. Behind Iron Maiden. In the B tier. Swans, My Father Will Guide Me Up a Rope into the Sky. One of the weaker Swans albums I've heard so far. This just doesn't do much. The first track had me intrigued, but I think it just kind of got worse as it went on. B tier. Behind Sap. Temple of the Dog, self-titled record. This is probably the most underrated grunge album ever released, I'd say. Chris Cornell with Pearl Jam, sign me the fuck up. This is really good top to bottom. Give this a listen if you haven't already, man. Please. More people need to know about this record. A tier. Behind Pantera. Aerosmith, Rock in a Hard Place. More like shit in a toilet bowl. This reeks. Youch tier. Behind Bush. The Doors' Soft Parade, weakest The Doors project with Jim Morrison by far. It's not without good tracks, but I'd say 75% of this is just hollow. It leaves me with nothing. Behind Van Halen, in the C tier. Blur, The Ballad of Darren. I think this is a fairly average project from Damon and the Fellas. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just don't care. At this point, like, wrap it up. You know what I mean? How old are these guys now? C tier, above the other Blur record. The Roots, Do You Want More? No, I Don't Want More. It's not so bad. A vast improvement from their debut, but it's still not reaching the peak of this band by any means. Above Nas, in the B tier. I just wanted to make that joke. It's pretty good. Van Halen 2. This isn't quite as good as their debut record, but it's not apples to oranges. I don't see much of a reason to revisit this project ever again, though, to be honest. It's consistently pretty alright, just doesn't do anything exceptionally well. B tier, above Arcade Fire. The Smiths, Hatful of Hollow. This is absurdly good. Probably this band's best project, top to bottom, to be honest. Almost no fluff on here, and some serious contender for this band's best songs on here. Iconic tracks, deep cut tracks. This is excellent. Top of the S tier. Gorillaz, The Now Now. It's alright. C tier. Behind the Chili Peppers. Tyler, the Creator, Wolf. This is when Tyler started figuring out what the fuck was going on. This is pretty good. Some great songs on here. B tier. Above the Killers. Primus, Antipop, Ass. D tier. Behind Limp Bizkit. Now I'm done, free from the clutches of the color blue. Thank you very much for watching. Please give me more ideas in the comments. There are only so many colors. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.